Impersonation fraud is the fastest growing fraud scheme in real estate right now. If you're a real estate agent, you're a target of the scheme. Real estate agents are the first line of attack, and they're also the first line of defense. What seller impersonation fraud is effectively is someone pretending that they are the owner of a piece of property that they don't actually own. The scammers are using public records to determine who the owners are. They're typically looking for owners, so if the properties are vacant, they're unimproved, and they're not in the area. They're not going to try and sell somebody's property out from under them that lives right next door. They're literally going to be looking for someone who maybe lives in North Carolina, who's had this property for however many years and may not even know who the neighbors are anymore. And then they'll reach out to an agent, they'll pretend to be that person. And in doing so, they will have just enough information to sound real. They typically will say that they won't be in the area, that they're not going to be around to be able to sign anything in person. They want everything to be done electronically. They don't want to do any face-to-face communication necessarily. That's one of the things that, if you're an agent, those are some of the flags that will pop up, and there's more, and I'll touch on some of those as we go. As an agent, one of the things you look for is you can say, okay, the tax records say that this person lives here, but this guy's telling me he's in Texas. That could be a flag. That could be the address that he's giving you doesn't match up to the address that the tax records say the current owner actually lives. The property typically are free and clear, so they've done the research, they've checked the land records, they know there's no mortgages or liens, so they don't have to worry about finding information for you that would be private information to the current owner. The property is offered for sale below the market value, where it should be worth 100 grand or it should be worth 80 grand, and they're putting it on the market for 50 because they're in a hurry. Oh, we really got to do this. I really got to get rid of it. My mom's sick. My sister's sick. I've got so many things to take care of. And then there are red flags that just relate to the seller. If one or more of these factors are present, then you really need to put your radar up and start thinking about how you can protect yourself and make sure that you're dealing with real people. Seller wants a quick sale and settlement, generally less than 3 weeks, which is sort of what we touched on a few minutes ago. Most likely the seller, the criminal seller, will not negotiate, if any. I mean, he just, okay, I'll take the offer because he wants it done. He wants it done quickly. They typically would like cash buyers because they don't want anything to slow down the process of the sale. Seller refuses to attend the closing in person. They just don't want a face associated with whoever they are pretending to be. They want to have the documents sent to them by email. They would say, oh, we'll take care of our own notary. That's a big problem. The seller may refuse or be unable to complete some form of identity verification. A process known as knowledge-based authentication, or KBA, is becoming fairly standard requirement in our industry to help prevent fraud. KBA's information is particular to the actual property owner and based on credit information for that person. Questions typically relate to places and residence and car ownership. Where did you grow up? What was your address? And if any of these factors are present in your interactions with the seller, if you don't know them personally and you've never met them in person, there are certain levels of scrutiny that you probably should at least be aware of and not be afraid to ask questions. So in short, I mean, seller impersonation fraud is out there. It is a real thing. It's a dangerous thing. It's a scary thing. If you find yourself in a position where you're uncomfortable with who you're dealing with, please feel free to reach out to us. Maybe we have some resources that we can use to help you get past that or to determine that it's not the real owner. Don't think if you're in a small market, it's not going to happen to you. Just because you're in property is in Fruitland or Eden or wherever, don't think it isn't going to happen.